Alright, today we're going to be reviewing some everyday carry knives that I've used. We're going to talk about what I like, what I don't like, and what I prefer. These are the knives that I personally use. You'll notice a theme here, they're all from CRKT. That's what I like, that's what I use. I think they make a good product at a good price. So let's just jump into it and we'll talk about the different models here and what we like. The first one here, this is the M21 14 SFG. This is the knife that I have found that I carry the most. It's a good size, it's very usable. You look at the blade, you can tell it's been used a lot. I've done everything from build shelters in the woods, gutted fish, everything with this thing, and it holds up very well, very durable. It's comfortable to carry. The one nice thing about it is it's got a 4-position clip, so you can attach the pocket clip to either side of either end. I carry it in a tip up, so it's in my pocket like that. As I draw it, the flipper here, knurled flipper, that catches the pocket and it automatically opens it as it's coming out of my pocket. I like that feature. It also keeps these knurled flippers out of the way of my hand as it's going in and out of the pocket. That I like a lot. It's also got a G10 grip. It has good traction. Doesn't slip in your hand. I like it a lot for that as well. Couple downsides to this, and this is a Kit Carson design. I find that I'm very drawn to his designs. That's what I like. He just has a lot of thought and design in them that make them very functional. One thing I don't like about these knives is what they call the auto locks. Basically, it's a safety for the safety. It's a liner lock knife, so it's got the bar that flips over and locks it in place. Well, they put a lock on that, so you can't push it out of the way to close the knife until you grab this little red thing, you pull it back, then you can push it over and flip it closed. Now, you can still do it with one hand, and it's not too tough once you've played with it a little bit. It's not enough of a drawback that prevents me from carrying this knife or would prevent me from buying another one. I just think it's kind of a solution looking for a problem. Anyway, I don't love that feature, but it's not enough to prevent me from buying it. It has a real smooth opening. You can use your finger or your pocket like I do. This is my everyday carry knife. This is always in my pocket, always with me. It's got the VEF serrations, which I just look cool, and it's a good serrated edge, good for sawing through a rope or something like that if you need to get through something really quick. So that's the CRKT M21-14 SFG. The next one is the M16-14 SF. Now, there's a lot of similar features on this. Same clip design where it's a 4-position. Same flipper tabs. This has got a Tonto blade on it and traditional serrations. This uses a nicer steel. It's the AUS 8 steel as opposed to, let's see, looking at my notes, the ACR 14 MOV, which is what the M21 uses. Other than that, the features are really pretty similar. Still has the auto lock system, so you get a little bit nicer steel. It's also smoother opening. It's very little effort to open this knife. I do like that better than the M21. It's just a little bit slicker, and I don't know if that's by design or if this one just happens to be a little smoother by chance. This has the aluminum scales on it, aluminum grips. Don't like that as much. It can be a little bit slick if your hands are wet or sweaty. Not quite as nice. They do have a G10 version, so that's what I would recommend if you want the Tonto blade and you want the little nicer steel. That's what I would recommend for the M14 or the M16. Sorry. Nice knife. I carry the M21 primarily because of the grips, and I like the design of the blade a little better. Moving on, here we have the Mini My Tighe. This is a smaller version of the My Tighe. This knife has the outburst feature on it. So this is an assisted open knife. You can see it's got the typical knurled tab there on the blade. Now rather than pushing out this direction, you know, straight out like you would typically want to, in order to open it you push vertically. So you push this knob up toward the top of the knife handle, and that is how you open it. It's pretty slick and smooth when you get used to it. I've found that this knurled tab, if they tapered it so it kind of swept up, it bites into the end of my thumb, and I didn't like it that much for that. It's got the VEF serrations. It's got just a sweet looking blade on it. I mean, that's just a mean looking, you know, fun blade to have on you. It's a liner lock, or frame lock, sorry. So all you're doing is hitting that tab over and shutting it just like you would a traditional knife. Things that I don't like about this, and the reason I don't carry this knife, it's got a little bit wide of a profile. The scales that they put on it I think are a little chunky. They look good. It's more of a design thing than it is an actual functional feature. The outburst, it opens nice, it's smooth. I just don't like the knob. The tab there is a little harder on your end of your thumb than I think it should be. But the kicker, why I don't carry this knife, in fact this is the knife that my son carries, and he loves it, but closing it, this needs to be, in my opinion, just a little bit more proud of the rest of the grip. I have a hard time getting my thumb in there and catching that to close it. I really have to jam it in there in order to close it. Maybe nitpicky, but that's why this isn't my everyday carry. Good quality knife. I think the full size would probably be a better choice, and that's probably what I would go with if I was going to go with one of the My Tighe knives in the future. And it's got a single position clip, so you're stuck with it wherever, you know, where it is. You can't move it like you can on the others. The next one here, this is the Delegate, also by CRKT, and this it qualifies, I guess, as an EDC knife for me. I don't use it every day, but I do carry it weekly. This is my dress knife. You know, if I'm got the suit and tie on or something like that, this is what's in my pocket. Just a little bit more sophisticated, not so big and clunky. Again, it's just got a single position belt clip, and this also uses the outburst assisted opening, as well as what they call the is it a fire safe? Let me look at my note here. Yeah, fire safe. And what that is it's a locking mechanism that prevents the knife from accidentally opening in your pocket. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but on the thumb tab here, it's opened a little bit. So it's basically a button that you press down, and it's spring loaded so you can feel it pressing down. Until you press that down and then flick it, this knife won't open. Now this again took a little bit of practice before it was comfortable to open, but It's a nice system. It's got a really sharp knife, a sharp blade on it. Very functional, very useful. Not going to handle real hard use as well as one of the Carson design knives, but that's, you know, this is a city knife, town knife, whatever you want to call it, where you're not going to be using it for building, you know, shelters in the woods and gutting fish and stuff like that. And then it's easy to flip that lock over and close it, and it's just a darn good looking knife too. I mean, this is one of my favorite knives. I carry it regularly, love it, highly recommend it. The next one we have is called the Gekota. Now this is maybe more of a novelty type thing. I like these. It's got a nice pocket clip on it. They're useful, and what I've found that I carry this a lot for, I'll put it in my left pocket, my weak side, and if I've got to do kind of a simple but nasty job, like opening boxes with gummy tape and stuff like that, and I don't want to use my nice M21 or something like that on it, this is the knife that I'll pull out, and it's got these little knurled tabs. Flip open. It's got this tiny little stubby blade that's perfect for doing stuff like that. A letter opener, box cutter, stuff like that. Works very well for it. Easy to close. And then on this side, you've got your bottle opener and your flathead screwdriver. So, not a super functional tool, but it serves a purpose. Something nice to have around. Throw it in your bug out bag, carry it in your purse, you know, stick it in your weak side pocket. It's nice to have around, preserves a nice sharp blade for something that is a little bit more needed for a good blade. You know, this is kind of the sacrificial blade that I'll carry around sometimes. So that's that. Let's go through the different sizes of all these knives to give you a perspective. The M21 14 SFG it's nearly a 4-inch blade. It's just barely under, and I think they do that to avoid problems with some of the state laws that we have that restrict us from carrying anything that's got a 4-inch blade or longer. Fully opened and extended, you're at 9 1/4 inches. The M16 14 SF has the exact same dimensions as the M21. The Mini My Tighe, it is, let's see, stick that on there so you can see. The length of the blade is 3 inches, and the overall length is 6 1/2. The Delegate has a 3.125 inch blade. Fully open, it is 7 inches long. Now, price points. The M21 -14 SFG, this one retails for $89.99. The M16-14 SF retails for $135. The Mini My Tighe, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. The Mini My Tighe, that lists for $89.99. The Delegate is $59.99, and the Gekota is $29.99. Now, those are suggested retail prices. You and I all know that we can find these sometimes cheaper on the internet or our local shops, as well as you listen to the gun dudes, and they'll give you a code that you can use to order these from CRKT and save 20%. So that's something worth doing. That's all I've got for you today. I hope that was informative, and we'll see you next time.